television. We got Mornings in the Lab with myself, C. Marty Fit. My friend Chris Keach joins us from Beverly Hills from time to time. This morning we talked about consistency. And hey, there's a reason I got David Sauers on the call today. We're talking consistency, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, per se. We know we got to be, if we got consistent movements, David's got a good business. Hey, it's a true story. Listen, why don't we stop talking about movements? Why don't we talk to the king of keeping it clean, the king of making sure we got a place to go when we're out and about. You know, you go to those concerts and festivals, or you go to these NASCAR races, or you go to these big events. You're like, I got to go for a... David will help you out. It's true. You're looking over there like, I need a clean shitter. I'm going to pause for a second. David, I climbed Kilimanjaro. No clean shitters on that trek. Nope. I shit in a paint can. Yeah, true story. With my new partner. You want to get close to somebody. You're like, hey, honey, yeah, I like you. I think I'm falling in love with you. You want to go climb a mountain with me? She's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, let's go shit in a paint can together. Yeah, a few months in. Talk about getting close to somebody new right away. Yeah, don't go to a festival and get into David Sauers' clean shitters. Just go on a trek. David, what is going on, my friend? How are you today? I'm going to turn the music off, turn it down. I'm excited to talk to you today. Can you tell I got the energy today? I'm excited.
Man, I tell you what, it's all over the place. I'm just trying to keep up. I'm like, how am I going to match this? I don't know what I'm going to do. But it's funny you said that about the tin can. You learn real quick why you need that tin can, especially out in the woods, or you dig a hole. You don't want that coming all over you.
Yes. Yes. I think that deserves a... Yeah. I'm just beginning to give it the sound effects later. I got the soundboard going, and I'm like, hey, I got to work the soundboard into the show. So David, thanks for joining me in the lab. I was excited to have you here today in a business way, in a fun way, in a serious way. Just a lot of... I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have a good chat with this fella. Did a little bit of homework. This business has been around for a long time.
Yeah, we're on our 20th year now. We've been in business for 20 years. So, not quite Clash of Clans old private setting, but definitely, we want to make you as comfortable as possible.
You know what's funny about 20 years, David, is that you wake up, it's 20, you're celebrating 20, you reflect upon 20, you're going to wake up tomorrow and it's going to be 40, right? Because as you and I get older, time goes much faster, doesn't it? And you're going to look tomorrow and you're going to be like, hey, Keith, yeah, I remember that episode we had. Yeah, we're celebrating 35 years now. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's crazy at how fast it goes. I mean, I feel like just yesterday we were celebrating our 15 year, and here we are at 20 now, and we're already setting plans for 25 and 30 on what we're going to do.
Yeah, and you have to, don't you? Because before you know it, 60 months is here. But before we go ahead, David, let's rewind to the beginning. So, and let's just kind of pause and give me some precedence. Where you are right now? You are in Savannah, Georgia?
I'm in Savannah, Georgia.
Very cool. Born, raised, bred?
I am.
Very cool. Deep South, and family was in this business, no?
No.
Okay.
We had no connection to any kind of portable toilet business. As a matter of fact, none of my office owners have any prior experience in this business.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I saw that in your profile, and I see that in your marketing materials that you actively court business people that are looking to, leaders that are looking to, I guess, get into the business per se, right? So, but let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to year one or even before that. David got entrepreneurial family. Does David got entrepreneurial parents? Is it something that you put your hand up, or how do you start here? Where does the seeds go? Where do we start, David?
Both my grandparents had their own business. One had a TV sales company on the Vickery side, and my other grandfather owned a pharmacy.
Oh, yeah.
So, from an early age, I saw or were around family-owned businesses. And I think that every person innately wants to be an entrepreneur. They want to do something on their own. They want to build something on their own, but they're just not. It's a lot of sacrifice, and it's hard to do. People don't like they like that security, they like that support, and when you are an entrepreneur, you sacrifice everything. You put everything out there and you give it 100%. And a lot of people aren't able to get 100% beside themselves, you know?
I'm pausing because I wanted to make sure that the clip was good there, because as simple as that sounds, every word you hang on there is truth. So many people want to be an entrepreneur, and I'm not going to be disrespectful, and I know you are either, to all those people that want to be, but it is farking hard, isn't it, David?
It is absolutely. I mean, I hear people all the time say, "Oh, I want to do what you do. I want to be," but they don't want to work weekends. They don't want to work 25 hours a day. They don't want to work on the holidays. They don't.
Why do you? I'm going to interrupt you. Why do you then? Why did you and why have you? Because I'm asking you for the same reason you're going to ask me, because we're clearly wired the same way. So why do you? Let's go here. Let's go as entrepreneurs. Why do you do it?
A lot of it is, you know, it is achieving and fulfilling something that's inside of me that I I can't really explain. It's a feeling. I want to do this. I want to accomplish this. It's kind of like a life goal, even though you don't really have the end goal. It's just something that you know that you're trying to achieve. But with with what I do is I, I like to be a part of bigger things and many different things. And if I have my hand in a little piece of supporting something in my community or a nonprofit or across the country, you know, that that's better than reading about it in the newspaper or online. You're a part of it. You even though you're not mentioned or you're not thought about, you took part in it.
Yeah.
You have a little piece of that history.
Is it legacy for you, David?
Yeah, I think, a lot of it is, I guess. I want to leave my mark. I'm not so concerned about being in the
Hold on. Say that again. You want to what?
I want to leave my mark.
Yeah. Look at the business you're in.
Yeah. I collect a lot of people's mark.
This is true. You do. You absolutely. Yes, you do. Jesus.
Yeah. From presidents to celebrities to, us common folk right here.
Yeah. You got kids?
I have 5.
Yeah, you got to be on Two Dads in the Lab, trying to be 2% better. Myself and Don Manuel have a show every Friday, and dude, we've had dads in here with 7 kids, 8 kids, 6 kids. Now I got a 5-er. Jeez, you think you got a full car? I got some 6, 7, 8 guys in the lab, man.
Mm. My youngest now is at 7, and my oldest is about to be 26.
Wow, good for you.
So yeah.
So not only you've been clean and loose, you're just busy with life altogether.
You got to keep it live somehow.
When you came across my radar and I saw the business that you were in, I saw how you had presented yourself, the personal brand that you create for yourself and portray yourself. I knew you were something special, and I mean that as a compliment.
Thank you.
Because to take an innocuous business that people just take for granted and might not kind of pay attention to, or would not see much value in it, or wouldn't understand how to market it, dude, you're a brilliant marketer.
Oh, well, thank you.
You are. And I call you out like my friend Shannon Houchin, because sometimes humans and marketers and society tends to overcomplicate things. And you're like, no, I'm going to sell crappers. I'm going to make sure they're clean. And I'm going to be the guy who's going to stand up in a purple suit, be proud of the business that I've built 20 years. And we're going to go and we're going to build a personal brand, like Royal Restrooms. Like, that's what it is, right?
Oh, absolutely. Royal Restrooms.
right? So when I hear that, you could either do something with it or not. And you've chosen to do something with it. And that's what I think is fantastic. Again, the reason why I wanted to have you in the lab, because I'm like, this guy gets it. And now that I meet you, I'm like, oh, I totally get why he gets it.
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely wear purple on my sleeve. I've got purple shoes, I've got purple socks, handkerchief, belts,
But it's your
you know.
brand, and it's the business's brand, right? And people recognize that. And then what does that do in a world of complicated trust? You build trust.
Right.
Oh, there's the
Exactly.
purple restrooms. I'm at the NASCAR race. There's the purple restrooms. There's a picture of David. Okay, I trust that. It's going to be clean. I got a great experience. Again, something such we take for granted. That's why I'm like, I'm fascinated by this guy.
Oh, it's still one of the most private things we do besides count our money,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And some guys go in there and do both.
Exactly. Right. So, I mean, you know, you got to take something a little personal and make it as stress free as possible, you know, especially in the anxiety filled world that we have. You know, we want to do things comfortably.
Is it not? No, I'm actually going to answer my own question, I think. So I'm 52. I'm thinking maybe I'm a few years older than you are.
I'll be 50.
Okay, so okay, I'm a little bit older than you. I grew up in a world where I'm like, when I went to events, I remember going to a concert, a big festival here 25, 30 years ago. They didn't have clean shitters. It was just nothing but horribleness. I went and rented a hotel in the town so I can go use a clean restroom and have a shower. The point I'm asking is, why did it take so long for the lights to go on for some humans here in my country and some folks in your country to build this business that is clean sanitation? Was it purely limited by technology, David, or did nobody just want to step up and say, I want to build clean portable restrooms?
No, you know, I've asked myself this question a lot, and so many people have said, this was such a simple idea. Why didn't I think of it? I think it was just accepted back then, and the fact that nobody really wanted to discuss it. They didn't want to talk about it. They
Mm.
didn't, you know, that icky feeling of 10 minutes was done and over with, and they didn't want to talk about it anymore. So I'm not sure what or why it changed for me because of my girls. I took them when they were potty training to a porta john at a festival, and s she stuck her head right there in the toilet and grabbed onto it, and I was like, "What the hell are you doing?" You know, like, grab it. She's like, "Dad, why are we going in a bucket?" She's potty training. You know, I hadn't I mean, how do you really explain what a porta potty is to someone that's already terrified of going to the bathroom?
Yeah.
And, I had CC on my hip. I had to let some stranger hold her, had my foot half cocked out the door because we couldn't fit in the porta john. There's no lights in there, and I'm looking back at CC, and I'm holding the other one over the toilet, and I just get sprayed. She just pees all over me, and that was, "What the hell are we doing this for? Why is this acceptable?" You
Yes,
know? And this
yeah,
is so
something so
simple.
simple. Why is this so accepted? Yeah, because it had been accepted for us.
Yeah.
Car races, concerts, festivals, outdoor events. There was the outdoor sanitary situation, and most times it wasn't very clean.
Exactly. And
Even still, now that I sorry to interrupt you, but even still, I think about it, David. There's still places you go today that the standard is medium or mediocre, and not high.
well, it's still one of the things that haven't quite made it into people's budget. That's the first thing that somebody cuts.
Really?
Mhm. When the fact is using clean, portable, functioning restroom, you know, when these event planners actually put the event on, they're trying to pull all these people to this event to create a memorable experience. Why do you wanna push somebody away? If you've had this experience, your wife has, your friends have, how many people do you know have left an event to go to the bathroom and never go back to the event? You know, why chance that? It's not much money. It's really it's not even that much of a huge cost increase, especially for the fact that you're keeping guests at your event that you've worked so hard to keep. And and I mean, it's more sanitary, it's healthy, it provides a hell of a lot more comfortable ambiance.
It strikes me, not surprised, but it does strike me that, yeah, I guess the first thing to go would be, okay, well, we don't need the best experience. We can just, we'll accept the medium or the lesser than experience just to give our patrons somewhere to use the restroom. Or instead of having 10, we'll just bring 3 or 4 and let people stand in line longer. Man, that's just 1920s thinking.
Yeah, they'll either put it for just sponsors or VIP and then just let the general public take that, which I can understand that, but it's,
So I can't actually. I want to. I can appreciate why you have that answer, but I can't accept that because that's entitlement to me, and that's saying to me that I'm
oh,
putting
yeah,
on this event, and that with all so that person there puts their pants on differently than you, Keith, which means that they have a different experience in the restroom than you, Keith. So they're going to have a better experience than you, Keith. Well, no, then I don't want to come to your event if you're going to give them a better restroom. Like it's a basic human need.
exactly. And
Like
we all
integrity
we
here.
all
You
should
know,
have this basic, fundamental met.
of course. Yeah. Wow. What a. I knew we were going to have an interesting conversation about the crappers. Like I just knew we would. So year one happens. You have this epiphany. Your little girl pees on you. Here's a soundbite. Your little girl pees on you. You're like, this is not good. We got to figure this out. Is that when the light bulb goes on? And what are you doing at the moment, Dave? Like, what are you working? What's your career at the time when you step out of the restroom with your little girl, or the outhouse perhaps, and you're like, now we got to do something about this.
Yeah, I was a commercial banker at a local bank here in Savannah, and after that night, I went home and I actually measured out my half bath in our house,
No
and it's like,
kidding.
"This will fit on a little trailer," and I sat on it for probably about a year messing around with it. My business partner, Robert Glisson, was really the catalyst that, you know, s kickstarted our business. He was the one that I actually talked about earlier that they're not 100%, an entrepreneur is not 100% sure of themselves. So
Mhm.
Robert was the one that really boosted that energy and kicked me over that edge that I had, and Robert was just gun ho. Let's do this. Let's make this happen. We can do it. And that's when it was born.
That's a great story. I have to suspect. I know it's never easy. It's never easy. You land a customer though, you make them happy, then you get to the second customer, right? And I'm phrasing it this way for business leaders and entrepreneurs listening to you and I that are wondering what it's like to start. Well, literally, you go find your first customer, and once you make them happy, you find the second one, right? It's just adding more toilets along the way.
Exactly. And that's the way with any business. I mean, the only difference with ours is when we found one client that used our service, we wanted to make sure, like what you said, that we had a clean facility, that we had an enjoyable experience. Well, everybody that sat their butt down on our toilet had a good experience, and now instead of having one client, we have 400.
Mhm. Now, potentially capital intensive business. I say potentially all tongue
Very.
in cheek because actually cheek and cheek. Yeah. So cheek and cheek, it's a, oh, there we go. I'm here to entertain and inform. I've told you that before you came in the lab, not to inform and bore. Go to the other podcast for that. You land the first customer. David, we want 100 toilets. You're like, oh, are you like, no, we got 5, we got 10, we got 2, we got 1 for your VIP? Like, take me through that first customer, how you got the first one, and what did you agree on you were going to provide them?
So the first customers that we had were, oh gosh, his name was Richard Chambliss, and he rented for us. There was a a Gulfstream unveiling, and somebody had bought a Gulfstream or something like that, and they had a whole unveiling of this Gulfstream. And so our first event was at an airplane hangar, and we really didn't know what we were doing still at that point.
Well, no, you never do.
And it just they used it. We were pitching it to our friends for oyster roast, backyard parties, and then we went after weddings and small, I guess, festival and events. The beauty thing, the trailers were that our holding capacity was pretty large. It was equivalent to 10 to 12 regular portable toilets. So our 3 private stalls essentially equaled the 12 portable toilets. So it could hold a lot more people, although it couldn't handle the flow at the so we put the trailers out over, probably they were, it was not nearly, but we sold it that it could do it. But people didn't mind waiting a little bit. It was something different. It was a nice experience. It was a
Yeah.
real experience, and people didn't mind waiting. The other thing was is we focused on events that were family oriented primarily. So we went and we partnered with nonprofit organizations like the Buddy Walk, uh, or the March of Dimes, the Ronald McDonald House. We went to areas that we could be impactful to events, but also kind of make people aware of our product.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it took a few years for us to build up a nice fleet. And that's actually how the business started to franchise. Was our first office owner, Andy Christian, out of Gainesville, Florida, was up in Savannah at a wedding. He used the facility and said, "There's nothing in Florida like this. How do I get?" We told Andy, "Here's what you need to do. You can call this company. They'll build you the trailer. I don't want your any trailer. I want your trailer. I want your name, and we can share the trailers back and forth, and we can share one website." And even back then, he was just like, uh, talking about, Robert and I, we dressed up in funny clothes. We looked ridiculous back then. And he was like, I sell cell phone towers. I I'm not gonna go wear a purple and yellow shirt. I'm just
Yeah.
not. So it was like, we went down and did wedding shows for them, and that's kind of how the business started to franchise and how we started to open up all across the country. People liked what we did, they liked what we saw, and they wanted to copy that, and they wanted us to be more of that face.
So the franchise route wasn't a strategic decision, David. It was more or less an accidental path.
Oh, yeah, and that was, we sold license at first, and then we got in trouble and were forced to be into a franchise.
Oh. So
Yeah,
what? So let's pause. What was the learning there? You were so if I'm understanding, you were licensing the business, like offering like licensees to use the Royal Restrooms, et cetera, et cetera. What was the line that was crossed, which pushed you to no, you're actually selling a franchise, and this is not a licensee.
a couple things. I believe it was Maryland. We did something at the governor's mansion or the attorney general's or something, and we had on the back of our trailers on a little bumper sticker. I mean, you remember a bumper sticker
Hmm.
that's like, "Where's the beef?" It said, "For business opportunities." And they called in, asked for our information. They told us that we were a franchise and not a license because we said that we were going to, help them through our model, teach them what we have learned, show them the ropes so that they don't have the same hiccups that we had. They don't have the same. Anyways, we get slapped with lawsuits and all of that, saying that we were a franchise, and We had to conform to the uniform code, and we had to produce a federal document disclosure, and so were yeah, we were forced to do it.
Really? Because of the bumper sticker.
Yes.
Somebody saw that and it caused curiosity. So, what did we learn from that lesson, David? Don't use a bumper sticker?
That's what we thought. We went and ripped them off every trailer, I can tell you that.
Well, I bet. I'm
Mhm.
also thinking as you're telling me this, as I'm thinking about like perfect product market fit, I'm going to make some assumptions here that wealthier human beings want to make sure their experience is good for themselves when it comes to using the restroom. So,
Yeah.
your ability to target wealthy individuals that are like, yeah, I want to have a clean crapper. Okay, well, I got a business if you want. Like, it's almost like a no-brainer for the wealthy guys to own the franchise because they want it for themselves. Am I wrong? Like in many, like I can see it in my eyes.
It is, but, that's also where we're different. We don't have a huge marketing firm. We don't have
No, it's
a
you because I
whole
can see it's you.
we don't pitch that. We don't want somebody just to buy the business. So if you look at our growth path, we're very slow and selective.
Mhm,
We want people that are gonna build, you know, they're gonna build a legacy of their own. We want them to be a part of the community. We
mhm,
want them to be the face locally. We want them to be involved. We don't want it to be a side hustle or an absentee owner. Um, this is a good business to be in. We're very blessed.
David, how do you prevent somebody from obviously besides contractual reasons? How do you prevent Keith from working with David and then Keith going on his own? And I'm gonna use this word with the greatest respect. Easily setting up my own toilet, slapping on my own colors, and setting up a competitor, crapper business. I know it's not that easy. I know it's not that easy. I'm not trying to be dismissive of it. But what are the mechanisms you do have in place to prevent me from working with you, learning, and then going on my own?
Um, first off, it is a very easy business to start. There 90% of our, competitors are people that are doing this as a side hustle.
Mm.
They may have 1 or 2 trailers, and they do it through a Facebook or an Instagram, and they have 1 wedding venue or something that they do, which really impacts us, but they'll never grow any truly larger than that because they're not 100% in it. They're playing that pretend entrepreneur. They're they're the landlord that owns 1 rental house. They wanna say that they are landlords or that they own rental property, but they just own 1 or 2. Um, but it's a it's not a difficult business to get into, and it's not a difficult business for someone else to thrive in. We have just done it through consistency, and professionalism and making sure that we do what we said we were gonna do, and, the best compliments that we get is when we are not necessarily noticed, and if we are noticed, we hopefully that it's something good. Um, our reviews are good all the way across the board. We have operators that are passionate and, committed to the business. They're committed to their employees. We have several employees that have been with us for 15 plus years. Um, so it's all about picking the right people and making sure that you continue to do the right thing to clients, your employees, your community. Um, but getting back to your direct answer, we try to build different products that you can't necessarily get a hold of. In other words, right now we call our vintage series restroom, and it is a polished stainless steel exterior, rounded. Uh, it kind of looks like old. vintage Airstream of some sort.
Hmm.
We don't want to necessarily call it that, but that's the mental picture that I can give you.
Hmm.
So it's an attractive look rather than just a big white cargo box out there or a tractor trailer. It the the trailers that we're pushing out now blend in. They blend into the surroundings. It's not an eyesore, you know. So now we have it's beautiful on the inside and it's beautiful on the outside. You know, it's not just a wow when you walk in like I wasn't expecting this. Now you're kind of intrigued. What is that over there? Not just oh, that's the bathroom. Really, what is that? That is beautiful. It looks pretty. And then contractual wise, you know, we usually have a 2-year non-compete,
Hmm. Hmm.
you know, when we sign up. But we've been fortunate that we've never had to enforce that, and nor have we ever have to let anybody go or anybody quit on us.
Hmm. Your business to me speaks to the power of branding and the power of marketing and the power of taking something that many could replicate, many could do themselves, many, like you said, could be a side hustle. But when you wrap something up, you put processes, you put consistency behind it, you build trust with the audience with it, people know what to expect with it. That's when scalable businesses are born, isn't it? Because when I go to festival A and I see a Royal Restroom, I go to festival
Yeah.
B, I see it again. Oh, there's trust. They start building trust. And that's what people who don't understand, who want to do it themselves, go ahead, do it yourselves. But until you step back and see what David does, that or Shannon Houchin, like that's what's called building a business, building a scale business, building a brand, right? There's more going on. You have systems, you got processes, you got, expectations, and people pay for that. People want to
Yeah,
see that.
and, you know, the other thing that's is great is, yes, we are a franchise, but our our fees are 6% on your gross sales. You can't hire somebody to do what we do for what you give back and what we give to you.
Mhm.
I mean, you just can't. And we're you know, yeah, we're still stuck from 20 years ago because we have been told over and over, your fees aren't high enough. Your gross sales aren't high enough. That's why you don't have a big sales. And it's no, we want to personally know everybody that's coming in. We
Yeah.
want to be able to identify everybody that we know and we can pick up the phone and talk to them. You know, we can see them. We know all their names. We don't have 150 different operators that I only know a third of them. You know, I know every single one of them. I've been to all their houses. I've been to their homes. I've, you know, that's what counts in our world.
Yes. Yes. What's the biggest challenge with running the business in 2024?
I think the challenge is really the business has had a massive growth since COVID.
I was
You know,
that was my
mass
next question
oh,
actually, was how
um,
did COVID affect you, and then what, and this is probably the result of it.
yes, massive growth, massive, uh, you know, people want our product more. Our biggest problem has probably been, employees, getting, um, finding reliable employees, but then the next thing is product, you know, we can't build trailers fast enough, and, the amount of opportunities that are growing and are out there, we're having to kinda change our systems because we've typically been more private parties, smaller parties, more organized, and we're getting a lot of events now that are, you know, like your NASCAR that require, lots of individuals to maintain cleanliness and cleaning and on site, and our staff is usually we bring a trailer, we drop it off, we leave it, and then we come back, and so the the business is changing kind of back to more of the porta potty sense. You know, they want these things clean more, they want them updated more, and that's been a big learning curve for us because we were
Oh,
used to just dropping it off, and now we're, you know, it's it's really a lot more hands-on.
the
Not dirty
expectation is to
hands-on,
keep it
just
clean too. So you
oh,
drop
yeah,
it, you manage. So it's what I'm expecting from you now is what it sounds like to me, David, is I want a complete managed experience. Bring
yes,
me the trailers, make sure they're spotless the entire time that my guests are here. When my
yes,
guests are gone, take your trailers, I'll pay you.
yes.
Really, right?
Yep, that's it.
And you're used to, well, no, but Keith, I used to just drop the trailer off.
Yeah, I'd bring it to them clean, I would drop it off, it would be at a private event or a special event, a 2 or 3 hour, 4-hour event, and now we're getting these gigs that are multiple days. Not that we
Mm,
didn't before, but we're just
mhm.
getting a lot more of them that are multiple days, high usage, when you start when you go from 400 people to 20,000 people, we have the trailers to do 20,000 people, but when you talk about all of a sudden the manpower that goes in
Well,
on a daily,
yes.
it's I mean, it's a lot, and especially when you don't have that manpower 7 days a week or, you're not our business is still cyclical. We don't have, events every weekend that require that amount of employees. So it's some learning curve.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I was gonna ask that it's somewhat of a seasonal business, isn't it, as well?
It
Or is it seasonal based on the geography of the states, really, I guess, right? Because
well,
California, Florida, you're going all year.
yeah, but it's still seasonal because, like in Savannah, people are like, "Oh, in Washington, in Seattle, we don't have as long of a season as you do." Well, you're right from a weather standpoint, but we really our wedding season is from April, May, and June, and then it starts back up in September. People don't get married in 110-degree weather,
Right.
you
Right.
know? So, they're thinking the winter, people aren't gonna do anything. Well, nobody does anything when it's scorching heat either.
Mhm.
Um, so our our wedding season or our rental season is actually a lot closer than you think. I mean, I think Savannah actually has maybe 6 more weeks longer than what Seattle does, which is really not
No,
long.
doesn't move the needle very much on the grand scheme of
Right.
things, does it? No.
But we've moved into a lot more long-term business remodels. We've, escalated or our products are more readily accessible from warehouses to, um, you know, the ports, security gate check-ins, even schools. We're providing restrooms on a longer term period now
Right.
to more places that we did not before.
Makes sense. Yeah. Manufactured in the US, David?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Just right down
Yeah,
the
so
street.
we use, multiple of trailer manufacturers, Jag, Wells Cargo, Alpha Mobile,
Mhm.
Satellite. Now our own trailers are, um, assembled here in America through a conglomerate of parts. Um, so it's not I guess none of the trailers are 100% because everything's sourced from China, from
Mhm.
axles to tires to
Mhm. Mhm.
toilets and air conditioners and all that. But, yes, they're all done here.
When you look at your industry, when you look at 5 years from now, and you're talking about the changes in the business, I'm only going to think that those expectations are only going to increase. Or do you suspect we're going to fall back into times pre-pandemic where expectations are going to lower again? What's your prediction?
No, I think that expectations are gonna continue to grow, and I think that our society will continue to demand this even more.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't start to see different city codes and laws put into place
Mm.
over the next 5 to 10 years. And our systems will only continue to grow. There's a new system that's come out. I think it's Denmark or Sweden. It's a vacuum system for portable toilet. So it's almost like you're able to have a bathroom experience now, or a real bathroom experience in a portable toilet because it's on a vacuum system.
Oh, it sucks all the
So
water out. Yeah.
yes, so things are continuously changing. So we may be in trailers today, but in 5 years, trailers may not necessarily be where it's at again now.
Yeah. Every joke aside, are people spending more time in the restroom because of smartphones than they did yesterday?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And that must have impact on capacity, because as you're scanning a crowd going, okay, there's 10,000 people coming here. We need so many stalls, so many things. 10 years ago, you're like, okay, Billis is in and out in less than a minute or 2 minutes, whatever it is. Now it's like, why is Billis still in there for 3 or 4 minutes? Why is he still in there for 5 minutes? Like, what the hell's the guy doing in there? I'm not wrong.
Oh yeah, no, that people, it is. I actually have some statistics on that. I don't have it in front of me, but because we actually timed people to see how long that they would stay in there at a wine fest, and we were shocked at how long people stayed in the bathroom, and we were also shocked at how long people stayed within our vicinity next to the bathroom, like how long they hung out around the bathroom. Like we had a couple people that in the entire 4-hour span, they stayed within 50 feet of the bathroom for 3 hours.
Oh, well, maybe so. Again, you put all judgment aside. Maybe that helps remove anxiety for them because they need to stay close to the restroom. Maybe they're like, you know what? I don't want to go to the event, but if they have a clean toilet because I have maybe I have some bowel challenges that I know there's a clean toilet there, I'll stay close to it.
Yeah. Well, that and the other thing is the bathrooms have created almost kind of like a second gathering point. We're
Of
kind of like at a
course.
bar. People go and they're waiting for a friend or whatever, so they congregate out front of the bathroom.
Right.
And then the few people that actually still smoke will go behind the bathroom sometimes and smoke.
Yeah. Does it become a challenge for you as a business operator if people keep spending too much time inside of the toilets and the lineups keep like, do you see a day where you're having to put limits on how much time somebody can use the toilet?
Um, we did. We installed TVs in some of the trailers a while back, and we had to remove the TVs. We no longer have TVs because the length of time that people stayed in there. Most all of our trailers have radios and stuff like that, and some places will tell us to not have the radio on because they don't want people lingering.
Of course. Of course. Yeah.
But yes, we've had to tell people to move it up. Even with our shower trailers, we have, when people are waiting, there's a 5-minute time limit.
Huh. Interesting. 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 David Sauer joining me here today, live in the lab with Keith Bilous here. We go Monday to Friday here on the show. David, before we wrap up, is there anything we have not talked about? Is there anything you want to make sure my audience, Business Athlete Nation, LinkedIn Nation knows about Royal Restrooms, how to get a hold of you, how to get into the business? Take some time now to talk a little bit about that to make sure we get your message out that maybe we haven't talked about because I've been too fascinated about the business side.
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn at David Sauers. Our business name is Royal Restrooms. You can find that on our website, Instagram, Facebook. I think we even have a TikTok now. But I can be reached at dsauers at royalrestrooms.com, or you
Awesome.
can call the 800 number at 800-969-7434. And, we're looking for people that are ready to step their game up. We're looking for people to begin a career in something that they could be proud of and make a life out of it. This is it's still a life business. You know, you're able to balance your family and work, which has been a blessing. I've got 5 kids. I should know.
Yeah. So I'm a prospective entrepreneur. I want to buy into the business. Share what you can share. That's without getting into the nitty gritty. I'm buying in, and what's potential earning potential if I was to buy into to buy a franchise? Well, what's a franchise cost? Can I ask that question?
Yes, they cost right at 25 to 30,000, depending upon your territory.
Okay. And my earning potential is?
Whew. So if you're sitting at around 20 to 25 trailers, you're usually at somewhere a million gross.
Boom. Wow. So you do a good job managing your expenses and you create some nice EBITDA for yourself.
Yes, you
Like,
can.
really?
And the beauty thing of is you're buying trailers, and that's really your trailers and vehicles are your assets, which are depreciable pretty
Yes.
much on your terms. You can do it day one or 5 years. So you're building wealth.
Great model, my friend. Congratulations, David.
Well, thank you, Keith. I appreciate it.
That's exceptional. You do you do any entrepreneur teaching? Do you have any time to do any of that? Do you do any entrepreneur coaching, or are you too busy raising a family or running the business? Because again, I ask you, your business is so complex yet so simple because it affects all of us. And until you start asking these kind of questions, like, oh, it's a $1 million business right there.
Oh yeah, very very easy. It's funny. A lot of my business owners are a hell of a lot more well off than I am. You know, it's it's terrible. I go down and I look at my guy's house that he just bought in Key West, and I'm like, man, why the heck don't I have a house down here? How do you have a house down here and I don't? What the heck is going on here?
Hey, I gotta ask, are you okay, here's the big question. You building this up for the family, or are you gonna sell it one day?
I will probably sell it. My kids don't really want anything to do with the
Yeah.
business,
Interesting.
you know,
Oh, there
but
you go.
I still want to stay a part of this.
Yeah,
I
good for you.
I'm not sure I would know what to do without being in this business.
That's exceptional. Are you in Canada yet?
No, we are not. We would love to be.
Oh,
We would love to be in Canada.
hey, OGG, I know you're listening. Maybe we're gonna get into the crapper business here in Canada. Oh, interesting. So no, this is the sound. Because that's the sound we have as we exit the joy and glory of having a nice movement, gentlemen. David Sauer, you have been an exceptional guest. I've thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. And to be honest with you, I had an expectation for it in my head, and it's exactly how it was it's exactly what I thought it was, well, how I wanted it to go. I know it sounds really ridiculous, but I knew it was going to be fun. I just, in my pre-homework, I'm like, I'm going to enjoy the chat with David, and you gave me everything I wanted today, man. I love your business.
Thank you.
I do. I think there's just some businesses you look at it and you're like, right. Keep your hands clean, dot the I's, cross the T's, and go to work, and it's going to take care of itself. Because people have to go to the bathroom.
Right. So how many are listening here on the bathroom?
Well, that's exactly it. We're going to leave that right there. David, you can hang tight in the green room for you. I'm going to walk you out, and I'll be back in 1 minute, okay?
Perfect. Thanks, Keith.
Hang tight. We're going to do this here, do that there. All right, David Sauer joining me here live in the lab here at noon, talking about, let's get that tune on right there. You know how I like to have tunes. There we go. All right, good. Boom, 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 boom. All right, boom. Okay, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to go walk David out of the lab. Listen, a lot of great learnings on today's show. A lot of great learning, just like Houchin's business selling peaches. Sometimes you don't got to complicate things, and maybe I should pay attention to my own words. Maybe I need to pay attention to my own words. Maybe we need to launch Royal Restrooms in Canada. That certainly intrigues me. But then I'd be accused of having ADHD and looking at the shiny squirrel over there. We know how that goes down here in the lab. There's that squirrel, John Brink. I'm going to get out of here. Going to go walk David out of the lab before we all use the restroom. And if you were listening to the show in the restroom, it's time to get up and go for a walk. Show's over. Tomorrow morning in the lab, myself, C. Marty Fit, Chris Keach, and Joseph Malone, special ops soldier, is going to join us in the lab to talk about how to create discipline, how to be consistently disciplined, all in the series throughout the year, throughout the month of January. David, I didn't ask you if you didn't hit your January goals, January resolutions. It's the month of January. Yep, January. We've rebranded it here in the Business Athlete Performance Lab. It's that month where you get a chance to redeclare, re-own, and retake over the goals you put forth in January. So, all right, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go and talk David, walk him out of the lab, and go have a sit down on the crapper. See you guys later.